right, everybody. Welcome back to ATOWN Rundown. You're here, which is why we're here. I'm Joey, joined always by Jeremy. We're the Miller Lite boys. I'm going to be switching it up to High Life at some point during this, but we got a lot to talk about right now. We got the playoffs going on. We got the Hawks in full swing. The Hawks are currently playing a game that looks like they might win. They don't have Dyson Daniels tonight because of a hip injury. He might be back this weekend, might play Saturday against the Knicks, but what we do have back is Trae Young. The game looks great. The game is currently going on right now, so I'm going to send it over to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's going on with the Hawks?
Yeah, man. So unfortunately lost their 3 games, the last 3 games that Trae's been back, but he only played about 20 minutes in the first 2 of those. The last one that we lost to the Bulls was 152 to 150, which the Hawks are the only team in NBA history to score 150 points and lose, and they've done it twice. And they've done it twice in the Trae Young era, unfortunately. But
on the same note, if we had won that game, Chicago would have been in that record book for that.
Yeah, exactly. So close game.
One of the teams had to do it.
And that game wasn't just about like, oh well, Trae Young's defense is so bad. It's like literally no one on the court that night could miss.
Yeah,
no one could miss. Trae went 7 for 8 on threes, which is exactly what you want. And then tonight, going into the fourth quarter, leading the Bulls, he had already had 20 points and 14 assists, which is exactly what we want to see out of Trae. Also, since he's been back, it hasn't really stifled Jalen Johnson's numbers at all as far as his playmaking and his scoring. So I think things are looking pretty good. Obviously, you don't want to lose 3 in a row right now. You don't want to be in a spot where you're sitting in that like 8 to 11 range in the East, like as we get into the new year. So if they can string a couple wins together before the end of the year over the next week, and then, let's get to the All-Star break being top 5. And they can do it. Just don't want to be in that spot where, like, after the All-Star break, teams are kind of solidified in the standings of where they are, especially when you talk about the top 6 seeds. And they need to do that. If they can get a home court, at least for a playoff series, I'd feel really good about where they're at. Assuming the injuries are all good by then.
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of taking it slow with Trae and not giving him a whole lot of minutes just yet, which I agree with. But if the team's defense is really going to drop off with Trae coming in like this is going to be a Quinn Snyder problem that he's got to figure out.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. I'm very excited to see what this season has. It looks like Trae Young's acclimating to his return very well. It's the opposite of what people thought it would be. And I'm very excited for this game.
Me too.
So now is the time we're going to dive into playoff football. There were some change-ups after Week 16. So going into the whole picture right now, we got in the AFC, we got the Broncos sitting on top. In the NFC, we got the Seahawks sitting on top, which, I mean, is it at the point, can we call the Seahawks a dark horse? Like, did anybody see this coming? Did anybody see Sam Darnold playing the way he was going to play this year and this team just clicking the way it is? Because I sure didn't. Like, the Seahawks
were good last year with Geno Smith, but yeah, I didn't think that Sam Darnold would be this big of an upgrade.
This is not a team I had on any radar at all that the Seahawks would be at the top of the NFC right now, especially knocking down the Rams they did with that comeback victory.
Yeah.
What was it, like a 16-point deficit they had where they come back and fucking won?
A lot of questionable calls in that game, though, and I really feel like it could have gone either way.
Well, there were questionable calls
happen
all over
in overtime.
the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
So then you look at the number 2 spot. You got the Patriots and you got the Bears both sitting at number 2 in their respective divisions. But I do want to take some time or just take a moment to talk about the New England Patriots. I mean, the big picture right here is the New England Patriots are clinching a playoff spot and sitting on top of the division just ahead of the Buffalo Bills. It was not in my bingo card back in August. This wasn't a fluke run or a soft schedule story. This is a well-built, well-coached, disciplined football team doing exactly what good teams do. They're winning close games and not beating themselves. Now, I will say, we talk about questionable calls. There were some questionable calls against the Ravens last week, but even with that, you got Drake May, who is just the catalyst of this team. He's poised beyond his years. He's playing like a crafty veteran out there, and he's barely stepped foot in the NFL this far. He's protecting the football. He's making throws that don't show up in the box score, but they're absolutely winning him games, and he's comfortable operating within structure instead of freelancing himself to make mistakes. He didn't come in trying to be Superman, which is something you got to really love and respect about a quarterback. He just came in trying to do things right, and that's exactly what he's doing, especially when the coaching he has, because the coaching I want to say that the coaching is absolutely elite, but it's more like quietly elite. And they deserve the real credit, not loud credit, not hype credit, but real football credit, because the game plans are being tailored to May and they're not forcing him to play hero ball. The defensive schemes, they consistently take away what opponents are doing best, and they have excellent in-game adjustments, especially late in the game. And that's something you really want to crack down and learn to your quarterback, especially a young quarterback like that. Like, hey, learn how to read the field. Learn how to adjust this. What should we do in this situation? Because at the end of the day, you're on the field. You're going to be able to see things I can't. And they have drilled into Drake May's mind how to make these adjustments, and it's turning out beautifully. And this team is always prepared. And that's something you're seeing the Patriots play right now, is prepared football. And on top of that, this is still true. We say this all the fucking time. Defense wins games and defense wins championships. Their pass coverage is so disciplined. They're physical at the line. They've got strong situational football when it comes to third downs, when it comes to red zones, and when it comes to late game stands. They don't need turnovers every drive, but they are suffocating the momentum of the other team. And that's why they're winning, because they have the quarterback that doesn't panic. They have coaches who know their personnel, and they have a defense that travels, and they're playing mistake-free football right now. So that's why you see the Patriots where they are right now.
Well, I do want to say I disagree with you on one thing about the easy schedule thing, because I heard today that this was like the easiest NFL schedule anyone's had in the last over 10 years. Let's talk about who they beat this year. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Bills, which, I mean, the Bills are good, but you know.
But also the Panthers have been the dark horses. The Panthers are winning games they shouldn't win. The Panthers,
sure they are. They're playing spoiler all year long.
Division.
Let me keep going. Let me keep going.
The NFC South. Okay, I got you.
So they also beat New Orleans, and then they beat Tennessee. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. They beat Tampa in their massive collapse right now. They beat the New York Jets. They beat the Bengals. They beat the New York Giants. I mean, where on that list is there? I mean, Carolina, is that the best team that you saw in there? Because they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
And then they lost to the Bills the second game.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, they lost.
By the way,
they
lost to the Raiders
also
to start this season, man.
They're beating teams that other teams are losing to, and that's what's important right now. And when they're winning these games,
I would say that about Carolina, but I wouldn't say that about the Titans or the Browns or the Saints or the Falcons or the Jets or the Bengals or the Giants. I mean, dude, this is most of their wins right here. That 11-game win streak they went on. The only teams in that I say are worth the shit is Carolina and Buffalo. And they lost to Buffalo to end that streak.
You got to look at the strength of schedule before the season started.
Of course, but I'm saying the way it looks now. You didn't think
all these teams were going to collapse the way that they did.
Well, what are the teams that I thought were going to be good on this? I mean, not Miami.
I thought Miami was going to be good.
Okay, let's say Miami. Let's say Buffalo. They knew it was going to be good.
I mean, we thought the Ravens were going to be good.
The Ravens, and they played the Ravens last week.
Even after Lamar Jackson coming back, I still didn't think that they were going to beat the Ravens. And I will say, like I said earlier, there was a lot of bad ref calls in that. But still, like, the Ravens were still a good team. It was still a good game. You know, it's not like all these games have just been gimmies to the fucking Patriots.
I want to say that the jury's out for me on the Patriots until we get into the playoffs, because I want to see them play against, who they stack up against right now. The Steelers again, who they lost to already.
Well,
or if the Texans make it up one more spot.
I'm not going to help your point at all with this, because next week, guess who they play? They play the Jets.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So I'm not proving my point at all.
No, man, this schedule is nice. This is nice. I wish my favorite team had this schedule. Not that the Falcons had a crazy schedule, but no. But
I'm saying even if the Falcons had this schedule, we
had to play the Bills,
but
we also got to play the Rams. And we had to play the Seahawks.
We also beat the Bills.
We beat the Bills, but they don't have to play the Rams or the Seahawks. You get what I'm saying? Like, out of everyone that's in the AFC race, they've played Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and maybe you can argue Baltimore, but I think you and I both know that they're not.
I think the thing is, like, when you look at what the Patriots have, when they have such a young quarterback, and they're doing things that they're known for doing. They're doing callbacks. They're bringing in players like Stephon Diggs, who by all means people think he's washed up because he hasn't had a good season in the last 3 years. Now they're doing amazing things with him. They're doing amazing things with a young quarterback. Like,
I agree with all that.
I think with the team that they have and the schedule they have, even though you're saying they have a lack of strength of schedule, I wouldn't expect the Patriots team on paper to be doing any of this, even against the schedule that they had this year.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. They've been a nice surprise. And if you're a New England fan, like, oh no, you had to go through 3-4 years of sucking and back to having a great team. But I also think that if the Patriots host someone like the Texans in the first round of the playoffs, they could get punched in the mouth.
I don't know, dude. The Texans just barely beat the Raiders.
I know, but defense wise, if they can get them back on their heels, I'm just saying. And then if you want to go down the road to where, a rematch with the Bills again, a third game with the Bills, which they split already, or let's say they end up having to play the Jaguars, or they have to play, eventually the Broncos. Now that wouldn't happen until like an AFC Championship scenario, but
yeah. Well,
now
that you mentioned the Jaguars, who are sitting at number 3, is a team I did want to bring up, and you got
no one wants to talk about them.
Well, you got to be real for a second. Nobody had the Jacksonville Jaguars penciled in as this kind of problem this season. Not preseason hype, not dark horse, not maybe they sneak in. I mean, they are legitimately dominating football. This has been one of the most unexpected and impressive stories of the year. But now you can say that, like, okay, well, who have they played? We talk about the Patriots, but also who has Jacksonville played? We talk about them beating the Chiefs, but look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't even in playoff contention right now. Yeah. So just as unimpressive as you say that the Patriots schedule has been, what about Jacksonville? I do think Jacksonville's had a tougher schedule if we're looking at it this way. But when the schedule was made, if I was looking at that Patriots schedule without the knowledge I have about this season that I have right now, I would have thought that was a hard schedule.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
except
looking
for maybe
back,
the Jets.
Looking back, I would say like it doesn't look like they beat a lot of great teams, and I think you'd agree with that. I think they still look good. I'm not completely sold. Let's see it. Let's look at Jacksonville. Who did they beat? They beat Carolina, Houston, 49ers, Chiefs, Chargers. Colts. I mean, the Colts. I mean, this is before the injury, by the way.
Yeah, but this is
and now Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So I'd say
we're also mentioning teams like when I heard the Denver Broncos this season, I was like, Denver sucks. Denver does not suck.
How about that? Yeah, dude. How about the South Park reference where he's in Denver fighting all the baseball dads, and Randy just comes out, Denver sucks ass. Anytime the Falcons play Denver, I have to say that. But
the thing is, like,
Denver does not suck ass, though.
I am talking about Jacksonville right now, but what I will say, too, about going back to the Patriots is, like, my mind isn't going to be changed about the Patriots. I still think what they're doing is incredible, especially with Mike Vrabel and everything out there,
Love Mike Vrabel, man. I think he's done a great job, but I'm just saying I need to see more, and I think a lot of teams could have made it here. If Jacksonville had that, they'd be the number 1 seed right now.
Well, maybe it also comes from a Falcons. Maybe it also comes from a Falcons fan standpoint. Is that a lot of those teams you rattled off were teams that beat the fucking Falcons? So
yeah, which hey, we were hype about our schedule this season, and look how it turned out.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Look at that, because when we looked at our schedule,
I'm not talking about preseason rankings, man. I'm talking about the way that it's turned out.
I'm not talking about preseason rankings either, but I'm talking about strength of schedule. We were looking at that. If we had the same schedule the Patriots had, we would have been stoked. We'd been like, yeah, dude, fuck that. And we almost had a mirror image schedule that they had.
Pretty close.
And
we didn't have much more challenges.
Fucked it up. We somehow beat
not
the
to
Bills,
mention we were in a shitty division, and they're not in a a division. So because even the Dolphins have turned out to be pretty good.
We're the worst team in the shittiest division.
Hold on, man. The New Orleans Saints exist. I know we like to forget they exist because they suck ass, but thank God they do. Otherwise,
back to the lecture at hand.
All right, back to the lecture at hand. Let's go down this playoff picture.
Because we have to give Trevor Lawrence his fucking flowers.
Yes. Finally turning into something.
Finally, yeah. And he's playing calm. He's playing grown man football out there. He's decisive. He's confident, and he is ruthless when his defense makes mistakes. He goes out there and he does the best to fix the mistakes. And I think it's really a thing is like, Jacksonville isn't playing with luck on their side. They're actually a team that's built to win this year.
They also got a new coach this year, Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
who's killing
and there's an entire culture shift that's going on, and you can see it. Their discipline is tight. The adjustments they're making are actually working. And the thing is, like, nobody saw this coming.
Nope.
Jacksonville hasn't had the benefit of the doubt in fucking years. And
No.
Lawrence, for the past what, 3-4 years, Lawrence has kind of, at this point this season, I see that it's an unfair thing that people have been calling him, but he's been labeled inconsistent and also been called still developing. He's not just still developing anymore. He's developed. He's there. He's the fucking man this season. He really is. So they're not overachieving. They're not getting lucky. It's not just some cute story. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a legit fucking football team this season, and I did not see this one coming at all.
Yeah, dude, and to your point about Trevor Lawrence is like, we've got to start giving these young quarterbacks a little more time, because the way that they develop quarterbacks is not the same as it used to be, man. Like,
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence came out and was a starter in his rookie season, and he has been since he started. And the way that the defenses are versus 10 years ago is so much different.
Because when you look at what Green Bay did, look at how Jordan Love is performing right now.
He came out the gate looking good because he got to sit and he got to learn the game. He got to be at all the meetings where they're going over what the defense does, man. And I don't know if you saw this clip that came out, kind of went viral, of Kirk Cousins last week, where he was breaking down progressions versus like playing half the field. And he was saying, like, it used to be you could come out, you could read the defense pre-snap, and you could realize like which half of the field you could use as far as all of your eligibles. But now the way they do it is the pre-snap defense is never what you're going to see once you snap the ball. And now you have to go through every progression. So when you're asking a young quarterback to do that, when his entire high school and college career was splitting the field, and all of a sudden now it's big boy football, it's a big difference. And so it is going to take someone like Trevor Lawrence, 3 to 4 years to start showing up, because I remember his first 2 years and was talking about him being like the worst quarterback in the league, and clearly he's not. Now, I don't think he's going for an MVP. He's not Matt Stafford yet. But look at the guys that are good right now. It's the guys, that like Matt Stafford, who have been through this for this long period of time.
Because this goes back to a conversation you and I have had on this podcast. I said it before. I'm so sick of quarterbacks getting drafted and immediately starting with no development. And so basically what you're telling me about this Kirk Cousins conversation is he's telling us what we've been telling each other. Michael Penix needed time to develop behind him. Holy shit. He's even saying
that was the plan.
Jesus
we could have lost for 2 years and still developed our quarterback and him not have, a fourth knee injury.
Yeah.
I digress.
Right. Moving on. After the Jaguars, we're still in the AFC. Sorry, dude. We've been arguing a lot. I want you to know I still love you, Jeremy.
Hey, dude, this is what makes this fun. This is where we really learn.
Right behind the Jaguars, we got the Chargers. The Chargers are looking fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Chargers are looking good as shit.
Another team. Who saw that coming?
Then we got the Bills sitting at number 6, which I did not expect them to sit this low. They're the second in the AFC East. The thing is, the Bills are winning games, but they're not winning them well. They almost lost to the fucking Cleveland Browns. I know that I took the Buffalo Bills as my playoff team this year. It's starting to look kind of sketchy because when you look at this, and we'll talk about this game coming up in a little bit, they got to play the Eagles next. And if you're,
I think that's going to be a fun one.
But if you're this shaky against the Cleveland Browns, but there's also things that I wonder about. There's things I wonder about, Jeremy, where like you see the Bills barely beat the fucking Cleveland Browns, and you see the Texans barely beat the Raiders.
Right.
Are they trying to hold some gas in the tank, or are they gassed themselves? You know what I'm saying?
At this point in the season, man, I mean, could be that they're gassed, but also sometimes you play down to your competition, and sometimes you're thinking, we got these games left, but the real goal is the playoffs. And, you can't get trapped in that mentality. Like, you have to just think about who you're playing, who's right in front of you, and you see it happen all the time. And what you want to do during these games in these last 3 weeks is win last week and win this week, and then so you can rest some of your starters that need it for when you go to the playoffs. But so you have to take care of business now. Luckily, they both won those games, but it did get a little too tight. I don't expect them to play that way in the playoffs. Either team.
When the Buffalo Bills are playing the Cleveland Browns, like, you don't need to see unnecessary Josh Allen moments, but you do for a feeling of clarity need to see them beat the Browns by more than 3 points. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't be, super excited as a Bills fan right now, but by all accounts, looks like they're going to be they're they're going to make it in.
We'll see. Let's see. Who do they have next? The Eagles. So
They got
that's
the
gonna be a
Eagles.
tough one. I mean, the Eagles could really fuck them up, but at the same time, the Eagles are sitting on top. So you got to think maybe the Eagles are
They
just
could start resting now because they're going to host
the
a
Eagles
playoff
might
game
just
no
go
matter
out there
what.
and play conservative, because they clinched.
Yeah.
They're number one.
Right.
They essentially won their division, and the Cowboys are out now. So there's no more Cowboy chasing going on. In the hunt in the AFC is still the Steelers. The Steelers have a 91% chance of making it in there.
They're sitting at the top of their division. They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are done threatening them.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a second because you got the Texans. My bad. You got the Texans who are sitting at 97%, and then in the bubble you got the Colts with 3% to get in, and you got the Ravens with 9% to get in. So now, speaking back to the Steelers and Ravens, this is something that's kind of become a rivalry because in a way the NFC North plot twist kind of feels like a writer's room got drunk and said, yeah, let's just flip the script, because you got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, by who all means should be dominating this year. Lamar Jackson has been riddled with injuries. Derrick Henry is a 50-50 player. He has games where he's outstanding, then he has games where he's just kind of there. But then you have Aaron Rodgers, who in your head you think Aaron Rodgers, you're like, damn, he's been playing since I was fucking 13 years old, who's the oldest man on the field every time he plays, but he's out there and he's commanding this team and he's leading them to victory. Now, granted, you did have that fucking I know you saw it. I know the entire world saw it. You had that fucking little brush up with DK Metcalf getting into it with a fan.
Yeah, right. Bush League.
Something you cannot do. He tried to appeal it. He still has a 2-game suspension for that.
Luckily, he's not going to miss any playoffs. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of controversy around that because you got him saying that he was saying disrespectful, racially charged things toward him. Then you have fan video that shows, or allegedly they didn't say anything of that. But then there's also, I heard reports saying that this fan is notorious for being thrown out of the field and heckling fans. And then you have some people that say, oh, it should be completely fine for people to heckle fans. And then you have other people saying, well, sometimes you take it too far. Personally, I heckle players all the time, but I don't ever take it to a point where somebody's going to want to punch me in the face over it,
Right.
So, but I do.
I've been drunk at many
when you have a game on the line.
Yeah, I've been drunk at many games, and baseball, football, basketball.
Mostly
where
Braves games. Braves games are where I get the drunkest.
Listen, man,
Braves
I'll
games
be in the outfield. Like I've gotten some tickets, 6 rows back from the outfield, and we're playing the Phillies, and we're just taunting Reese Hoskins for for the entire game.
And
usually he laughs it off.
He was about to murder me, dude.
Yeah, and the other thing is you don't want to get too personal. Like heckling's part of the game. It's part of the fan experience. Mm-hmm. We're the older white guys now getting drunk there. Like it's kind of our job to do that as fans. But yeah, obviously you can take it too far.
Dude, it hasn't been the same since the Blue Lot days. It just hasn't.
I agree, man.
It just fucking hasn't, man.
But I've done it plenty at Truist Park too. But as far as this dude, like if he was saying like racial shit or something like that, and he gets kicked out all the time. If you do something like that to players and people call it out, you usually get banned from the stadium for life. And if you get into any kind of physical thing with players, you get banned for life. So I don't know this dude's story. I hope that he wasn't saying anything like that.
And my thing
the other thing is DK's got to, you got to be professional about this,
Yeah.
Get paid a lot of money, and it's like the team is expecting you to be professional.
Exactly. Your team's counting on you. You got money on the line. You got playoffs on the line.
If you got some washed up fat dumbass with a regular job getting under your skin, man, like you need to step back.
But by all means, like I understand the human aspect of it. Like you can only take so much. And if he really did say something, that crossed the line and deserved getting smacked in the face, I'm not above smacking a motherfucker in the face. I've done it plenty of times in my life, and I'll do it again if I have to.
Yeah.
So part of me is on DK Metcalf's side, because if he did say something super sideways and he deserved to get hit, by all means, dude, swing away, because you know what you're risking. You know what's going to happen when you do it. I'm sure that wasn't cycling through his brain at the time, but you know what? If it's worth it, then fucking swing away.
If it was worth it, he should have gotten a better shot in than that.
Yeah, because he barely hit.
Should have knocked him out cold.
His face,
Yeah, right.
But I'm just saying, like,
which I mean, he certainly could.
Don't let people disrespect you, but understand what you have on the line at the same time. But it's hard to be a professional when emotions like that get involved, And then, no matter how much a guy's getting paid, no matter how profile it is and how much he has on the line, if you're a fan in the crowd, be careful
talking too much shit to someone who could literally kill you with one
Especially,
hit.
dude, like I don't know if how close normal football fans have ever been to the field. The closer you get to the field, the bigger these guys get. Like even the smallest player on the football field is still the size of a door frame. Like they can absolutely destroy you. So fucking watch what you say to them, because
Absolutely.
if
you
one
don't
of
know
them,
who you're talking to,
if DK Metcalf actually got his hands on that dude, the guy would be hospitalized for months
if he was lucky.
Yeah.
If he
lived.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're absolutely right, man. Like, yeah, if you're up in the 300 level, the 200 level, and you want to yell, "Oh, that wasn't a flag, pussy!" Like, sure. But if you're down on the field or you're that close, watch your mouth, man.
Yeah.
That's why I've always loved, this is a side note, I've always loved Kevin Durant, man. There's so many there's so many videos of him just like turning back and be like, "What the fuck did you say?" Mm-hmm. And I always respect that, because that will shut someone's mouth, Yeah.
And also, I mean, dude,
be a fan, watch the game.
Speaking of how big players are, NBA players are even bigger. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall. Like Kevin Durant might be skinny as fuck, but he's gonna punch you from 5 feet away.
Yeah, you got no chance.
Like, what are you gonna do?
I don't care what NBA player it is. I don't care if it's Trae Young. I don't care if it's the smallest NBA player you can think of. Be careful.
And on top of that, these guys get paid to train, lift weights, and be athletic. Yeah. Like they are going to out cardio you.
Chances are you don't
maneuver you. Like you're fucked.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing?
And even if you did work out as much as them, if you were as athletically gifted and you were as physically gifted, you'd be out there. And which tells me that they still got one on you. So be careful, fans.
But moving along, the real curveball in this whole NFC our AFC North thing really has been the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, had Pittsburgh pegged as a legit December storyline, and now they're almost like a team. They're just refusing to die out there. They're going out swinging. They're giving it everything I got. And now you got the Colts who are behind them, and the Colts are sitting at 8-7, and then you got the Ravens who are sitting at 7-8. Now the Ravens need the Colts and the Steelers to lose to really get in there. I don't see the Steelers losing, because the Steelers are about to play the Browns, and that should be a game that they have. The Colts could possibly lose a game. But then with the Ravens playing the Packers, I mean, the Colts are playing the Jaguars, so we might as well count them out, even though that game's in Indianapolis.
I'd say the Colts are done, man.
The Colts winning that game.
I'm also going to say that the Ravens are done, because the Steelers aren't going to win. The only way the Ravens can get in, is by winning their division.
For the Steelers to lose out and they have to win the division, and it's not going to happen.
I don't see that happening. I mean, right now they have a 9% chance to make the playoffs, which I mean is better than the Colts. Colts have a 3%, so they've got to catch up with the Texans at the very least. So.
Yeah. And I
by the way, did you know that the Colts started 7-1 and now they're 8-7?
Yeah.
Oof.
And
that's not all losing Daniel Jones.
On top of that, let's say the Colts
almost lost to the Falcons too.
Let's say the Colts do lose. Let's say the Ravens somehow beat the Packers. Let's say that Cleveland somehow beats the Steelers. Guess what happens in Week 18? The Ravens have to play the Steelers.
And then even if they win, I think they tie their record. And I think they tie their record, and you have to wait on tiebreakers.
And the tiebreaker, I feel like, would go to the Steelers in this situation. I don't know.
Well, I don't think so, because otherwise they would have 0% chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like whatever that tiebreaker is, like what if they, what if another team that's kind of involved in this? This is the problem with, being on the bubble at this point. You're not in control of your own destiny. I don't really like saying that, because obviously your destiny is something you can't control, but like, the term. When you're controlling your own destiny, you're like the Steelers, where it's like, hey, as long as we win games, we got this. But for the Ravens, it's like a lot of stars have to align for them that they have no control over.
That are not going to. Like, if we're just being real,
there's a 9% chance.
Not this season. And I feel so bad for Lamar Jackson, because that's been the story almost his whole career. Like, close enough, but just not getting there. And like,
this has been a bad year for him, yeah.
Well, this year, I feel like all the pieces were there for him. It was just the fucking injuries that got to him. I feel like if you saw a full, healthy, full season Lamar Jackson, they would probably be sitting where the Steelers are sitting right now.
Yeah. No, very well could have. I mean, because they went on a skid to start the season. He came back. They started to win again.
Did you see that controversy about Mark Andrews, who might be getting investigated for gambling?
No, is it an FBI thing that they started a couple months ago?
He got fucking tackled against the Patriots, and there was this very very conspicuous fumble he had where he didn't just fumble and drop the ball. He threw the ball when he was getting tackled, and he basically threw it into the hands of a Patriots defender. Like he's damn near down on the ground, and he chucks the ball instead of just taking the down.
You don't think that was just a full-on brain fart? I mean, not saying that you think.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you do out there.
Right.
It looks silly as shit. I mean, I would like to think as a professional, that wouldn't be your first instinct. There was a Ravens player that looked like he was kind of trying to lateral it at, so that could have been what was going on.
Which we saw the Lions do, but got called back.
Yeah.
We'll get back. We'll get to that later.
He you know, and it could just be hearsay, but people are talking about like, yo, it looked like Mark Andrews threw that play, but you know, that's all conspiracy. That I wasn't being serious.
Like Cam Newton not falling on that fumble.
Yeah, right. So let's move on to the NFC. And like I said, we got the Seahawks sitting up there, and we got the Bears. And now, just to make fucking Jeremy's father-in-law happy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
on Christmas,
Bears here
guys.
for a second. On Christmas,
it's Christmas
here.
By the way.
Merry Christmas to you. What's his name?
His name's Randy.
Right. I think I like him. Cheers to you, Randy.
He's a good guy.
Randy.
He's a good guy. Yep.
Hell yeah, Randy. All right, here you go, Randy. Let me take a sip of this Miller Lite.
Cheers. Merry Christmas, Randy.
All right, so we got to give credit where credit is at this point long overdue, because I have been running my mouth. I have been talking my shit, but the Chicago Bears are done being a fucking Cinderella story, and they are officially a problem in the NFL. The Bears are legit. You know, this isn't smoke and mirrors. This isn't a weak schedule debate. Do you want to debate a weak schedule on the Bears?
No, I don't, because they're in probably the toughest. I can't even say toughest division in the NFC, because the NFC is just, stacked, because the NFC West is also just as stacked. But I mean, doing what they did against the Packers in a game where it looked like they were going to win, and as I was watching it, I was kind of rooting for the Bears. I was watching the game with my best friend who's from Chicago, and we were drinking beers, having fun, you know, kind of half-ass watching the game for a little bit, because it looked like the Bears just kept stepping on their own feet. And the way that they forced overtime there at the end of the game, and then we all saw the play on Saturday in overtime with Caleb Williams' 60-yard bomb to TJ Moore.
Amazing throw.
That was out of play action. Maybe kind of rethink what I said about the Bears last week of like why I thought they could win that game. And it was all based on their offensive line, which I thought did fine. But that Caleb Williams play made me go, all right, maybe Caleb Williams is fully bought in to this offense now. And maybe we're going to start seeing, maybe we're going to start seeing what he can do.
Yeah. On top of that, dude, the Bears are just dominating right now. They're well coached.
Still good
Coach
defense.
Johnson is fucking incredible. They're physical, they're disciplined, and honestly, it once again kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Patriots. The coaching is another quiet dark horse here. They literally have one of the best coaches in the fucking league right now.
Without a doubt.
Their coaching staff deserves the real fucking praise here. There's no panic. There's no nonsense. They're just playing smart football, and that's playoff football that they're already playing. And to your point, Caleb Williams has arrived. Now let's talk about the big one. Caleb Williams is officially a real, legit NFL quarterback. And a lot of us, myself included, were slow to fully buy in, but he's commanding the offense. He's protecting the football. A few little mess ups this year, but he's learning. And what I need is a quarterback who learns from his fucking mistakes and listens to their coaches, and that's exactly what Caleb Williams is doing. He's making throws that separate talent from franchise guy, and I take back everything I said in the first couple of episodes of this podcast. He is turning into the franchise guy of the Chicago Bears. This isn't backyard fucking football anymore. This is a quarterback who understands timing. He understands his matchups, and he will.
I think he's in sync with his offensive line, by the way. I think he understands how big of a strength that is.
Doing it all at once, and he is listening to his coaches. His coaches are getting through to him, and that's growth. That's maturity, and it's dangerous. This is not the Caleb Williams we saw in our rookie year. This is not
Right.
This is not the same guy. This is a brand new brand. Fucking.
I don't think
Caleb
he's the
Williams.
same as he was in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. Not at all.
Because, I mean, it wasn't until like week, I don't know, 9 or 10 that we started saying like, hey, the Bears might be something. And then when they actually took the lead in the division a couple weeks ago, it was like, oh, look, they're actually number 1 seed. Who called that? And now it's like, can they hang on to it? They still have a chance to get there. I mean, the Seahawks could lose. And then, and the Bears could be that number 1 seed. And I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that going through Chicago for the NFC could be a big advantage as far as like having home field.
You know what? I'll tell you this, Randy, strap in because I'm about to really give you some flowers right here. The Bears are done rebuilding. Caleb Williams is done proving himself. The NFL needs to start taking Chicago seriously. If Caleb keeps playing like this and the Bears keep imposing their will the way they've been doing, Chicago absolutely belongs in not just the playoff conversation, but the Super Bowl conversation. Absolutely, without a doubt. Is it bold?
Why not?
Yeah. Is it bold? It's bold. Yeah, it's bold. But is it crazy? It's not crazy anymore.
I can see them go. I can see them go up against teams in the NFC. Like, let's look at that playoff picture again. Who could they be playing to start off? So they're number 2. They could be playing
Seahawks, Eagles.
No,
Niners.
dude, they could be playing the Rams.
Rams are sitting at
as it's sitting right now. Yeah, they could be playing the Rams. Or no, would they play the Rams or would they play the Packers? Either way,
well, the Packers are in the hunt right now, so they actually might be playing the Packers, right?
Yeah. I mean, as long as the Bears can stay away from like the 49ers, I don't feel like I don't love their matchup against the 49ers. Seahawks, very high powered offense. I don't know, but like if you're playing the Packers, if you're playing,
since you went ahead and brought it up, let's talk about that real quick because you do have the Bears versus the 49ers this week.
Yeah.
And you have them in San Francisco.
Yep.
So it's Sunday Night Football at Levi Stadium. It's a big NFC implications. Two teams that are trending in the right direction. Yeah.
Let's start with that.
No. We're just sidebarring it right now.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the playoff picture.
We are going to dive into that game. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the Chicago Bears, they pulled off a gritty 22-16 overtime victory against the Packers.
Yeah.
Williams led late with a comeback and showed some serious poise. And then the 49ers last game, sorry, Philip, dude. I mean, Philip Rivers was out there playing an incredible game, but the Colts
actually
defense
looked good.
just shit the bed.
They did, and the 49ers are a tough team with a great defense as well.
You know?
And I think that like this also goes to the point of what I was talking about developing quarterbacks. Like Philip Rivers is a guy that's already developed. He can come out there and go against one of the best defenses in the league after sitting on the couch for 5 years and still do that. You know what I mean? Like, whereas, the young guys, you saw how their defense was against Michael Penix and our rushing attack. Like, they shut us the fuck down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's because we weren't reading them the way we were supposed to. Philip Rivers was actually able to do that. So shout out to Philip Rivers. Sorry, Colts. Rest in peace.
I mean, possibly rest in peace, but it does look like your defense is going to let you down, and I don't see you getting ahead of the Steelers.
No.
I just don't. Now in this Bears and Niners game, you will have some key players to watch. First of all, in the Bears, it's going to be Caleb Williams. He late game magic is what he's been having, especially with that game against the Packers. And then for the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, dude, you really got to watch out for this guy right now.
I mean, that whole offense, man, and their passing attack is even better, no matter who the quarterback is.
Even Kittle, who he was up in the air after that ankle injury he had, but like he's still a threat too.
And a very well-rounded tight end. 49ers offense is sneakily and shouldn't be, but underrated. Underrated.
Yeah. And so with the Bears, all I'm going to say is like, they're not here to make up the numbers. Like defense and Williams makes them dangerous. And if they play passive or turn it over though, the Niners are going to torch them. And then when you're the 49ers, if you can score that on the Colts, you can score on Chicago, but missing key tight end pieces could be the closer more than some expect. It's going to be a tight first half. I feel like the offense is going to pick up for both teams in the second. It could come down to who has the ball last. If I were to make a prediction, though, and this is not just because I want Randy to like me, I do think the Bears are going to take this game, but it is going to be a tough fucking game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta take Niners in that one. I mean,
oof.
Just looking at the stats.
Sorry,
here,
Randy.
Man.
Sorry, Randy.
Yeah, I'm just just looking at the numbers here, and we're this deep into the NFL season, and I've seen enough of both of these teams. You've got, the Niners' 5th best passing attack in the league, and that's over 2 quarterbacks. That's Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. It doesn't matter who they have out there. This is the way they run their offense. And then, the Bears got a great rushing attack, but the 49ers have a top 10 rushing defense. They got number 8. So let's talk about the Niners rushing the ball. Not also, great, but better than the Bears rushing defense.
I think DeAndre Swift is still injured a little bit because he's been playing through an injury from what I believe. DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, he has. And look, both teams, great offenses. I think total offense, the Bears are like number 5 and the Niners are like number 9.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of that has to do with the 49ers aren't great at rushing the ball, but they can figure out your defense. And if you get a little bit sloppy, they're going to start putting them up on you. The Bears got to be able to control the game, but in San Francisco, I got to take the Niners.
Okay. All right. Well, continuing on with the NFC, sitting under the Bears, we got the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Now, the Eagles completely clinched it. The Cowboys aren't chasing them anymore.
Done. Yep.
Cowboys are done. Cowboys are out. So the Eagles are sitting comfortable. They're sitting pretty, and that sets them up for the game against the Bills. Now, the Bills are kind of fighting to be in it, and you got to think, like, with the Bills fighting to be in it, the Eagles sitting there comfortably, how is this game going to go? Do the Eagles need to go out there and dominate, or do they still kind of need to show who they are?
The Bills need it more, yeah.
The Bills definitely need it more. So both teams, like the Bills have playoff hopes. The Eagles are in the playoffs. And with Philly securing the division title and Buffalo trying to position for getting in there, this isn't like a dead ringer for any team. It does kind of matter, especially when you think about, like, of course, Philly wants to show up and beat Buffalo. Why wouldn't they?
But they've already secured a top 4 seed. So you could see them start to rest guys that are dealing with injuries right now.
They're kind of playing for the same reason that what if they want to knock out Buffalo? What if they don't want to play Buffalo in the Super Bowl if it gets to be that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if it was an NFC team, I would see that more. But it being an AFC team, can't even think about the playoffs right now. You got to be thinking all NFC right now, or you got to be thinking about the team that's in front of you right now. They're positioning. Well, let's look at this. So, all right. So the Eagles, if they win this and the Bears lose, they potentially could take the number 2 seed, which would give them a better spot. Right. I don't see them catching the Seahawks or the Rams. I mean, maybe they could catch the Rams, but the Rams, they got to win their division to get up there.
They might be able to catch the Rams because if you look at,
but the Rams, if they don't win their division, it doesn't matter. Like they would still stay there. Like they have to have a better record than the Bears or whoever wins that division in the NFC West.
Well, after this game, the Eagles get to play the Commanders again in Philadelphia, and they just torched the Commanders. They beat the Commanders 29-18. So then the Bills after this, the Bills play the Jets. So, I mean, the thing is, these next 2 games for both teams are both winnable games. You look at Philadelphia Bills, it's winnable for both teams. Yeah. And then you look at Commanders Eagles, very winnable for the Eagles, especially since they just beat the Eagles. And then you got Bills and Jets. But the problem with the Bills is they've been showing up lackluster against teams that they should absolutely dominate. I mean, they lost to the fucking Falcons.
Right.
They barely beat the Browns. They lost to the Dolphins.
Yep.
So it's kind of like these next 2 games matter more for the Bills than they matter for the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like the Eagles are already for sure going to host a playoff game. The Bills probably not going to host a playoff game because I don't see them catching the Patriots.
I don't, not at all.
But they do need to secure some cushion to where they're not fighting.
I will say one thing for the Bills right now that they have going for them. James Cook is absolutely on fire. I don't know if you saw, James Cook is actually leading in rushing yards in the NFL right now with over 1,500 rushing yards, which has been silent. You haven't heard a lot of noise about that. Right. When I saw the stat that say he's ahead of Jonathan Taylor, he's ahead of Derrick Henry, he's ahead of Bijan Robinson. Like he's leading.
Bills have
by
the number one rushing offense in the league.
Yeah,
and I didn't see that either until I was prepping for these games. Speaking
of rushing too, last week Saquon Barkley had 132 rushing yards with multiple touchdowns. Granted, it wasn't against the Commanders. And then you also have to put into.
Well, that's how you beat the Commanders.
But you have to put into the fact too is like they beat the Commanders by 11 points. The fucking Bills only beat the Browns by 3 points. This could unfortunately not go the Browns' way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see that.
So, I mean, I don't know. Okay, well,
yeah,
I guess we both agree on that. Anyways, under the Eagles is 49ers, then under the 49ers is the Rams. Now, still in the hunt is the Panthers, and the Panthers have a big game against
Panthers
the
leading the
Seahawks
division.
Coming
Yeah.
up.
Yep, yeah, that's scary.
This game against the Seahawks might knock them down, especially since who they're neck and neck with, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Granted, are coming off of a loss. They just lost to Carolina, but now they gotta play the Dolphins, which by all means they should beat the Dolphins. I don't know if they actually will.
But the Buccaneers haven't really beaten anybody lately.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean anybody.
I know. I went from singing Baker Mayfield's praises every week on here.
They're
being
imploding.
Like, what the
bad.
fuck is going on?
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad. But when we talk about the Panthers going against the Seahawks, like we said earlier, pulled off a maniac comeback. Thriller against the Los Angeles Rams, 38-37 in overtime, rallying from a 16-point deficit and winning on a 2-point conversion in overtime. That is
after the Rams had scored, which is the first time in history since they changed that rule.
Amazing.
I call it the Josh Allen rule.
I'll tell you, dude, like Sam Darnold was not having his best fucking day out there.
No.
But the Carolina Panthers, they just beat Tampa Bay 23-20.
Yep.
So another close game. This should not have been close. Right now, the Panthers are kind of riding on a winning streak. And if you look at this game, I believe this game is in Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's in Carolina. And the Panthers, for some ungodly reason, have been fucking insane at home this year. So with both teams playing the way they are, Carolina being as hungry as they are, granted, Carolina's represented the NFC South, which is abysmal this year. But I kind of see the Panthers shaking things up a little bit. I think the Panthers might be able to walk away with this.
I think that'd be very exciting. I mean, we can get into the stats whenever we like dive into the game, but Seahawks certainly are the better team. But again, and we've said this week after week.
Oh, you can dive into it now. You can dive into it right now.
Let's dive into it. So let's see. Seahawks passing attack is number 6, and the Panthers is 26. And that's a lot of like, you don't know what Bryce Young you're going to get when he comes out there. Granted, I'd love to see the home and away splits, and maybe I should have looked at that before we started this, because I think it'd be interesting to see like if it's like a tale of two quarterbacks with Bryce Young and also, where we can kind of pinpoint
the
that.
The Panthers did beat the Rams at home this year too.
That's true. That's very true. You know, and then we got.
I don't understand how Carolina has turned into this like hard place to play this season.
I don't either. And because I don't really think it's their defense, because their defense is very middle of the road. I mean, passing 16th in the league, rushing 19th, total defense 17. Whereas, you know, I know that the Panthers are a good rushing team, but the Seahawks are a great rushing defense. They're the number 3 rushing defense in the league, number 8 overall. So defense travels, right? So
absolutely.
And, you know, they do have a high-powered offense. If they can do 3/4 of what they normally do at home, which, I mean, we have seen them do on the road. We saw them do it to the Falcons. They came up and put, 30 on us. It can be done. So if I were the Panthers, I mean, I still take them to win this division because I don't believe in the Buccaneers anymore. But this game, I think Seahawks got them.
Okay, well,
I think it's going to be too tough for the Panthers. I think they're going to be nice, like, to get into the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
To your point, if you want some betting advice from old Joey Webb.
Yeah,
over here.
Let's hear it.
The Seahawks are favored on the money line, which is my favorite line.
Mhm.
I always bet money line. I'm not good at betting the spread. I rarely win with the spread because the spread is all over the place. But the
Right.
Seahawks are favored to win about 360, which is a clear gap for the teams on paper. The spread is around 7 points, though. So that suggests that Seattle should win and could win, but Carolina on paper, according to Vegas, is going to keep it close, and they could upset them.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But I don't bet on sports. I think, I have a better chance of doing something with my money by throwing it in the trash instead. But that's just me. I do bet on sports, but I do, 6-pack bets.
But I will say back to the Eagles-Bills, I didn't give you – because usually we go through the teams in the playoffs and then we preview games. I've kind of been corresponding that when we get to games.
Right now we're really just
teams.
Talking about teams that are relevant in the playoffs anyway. So,
but I didn't give you my prediction on the Eagles-Bills. I want to say I think the Bills are going to win this game.
Yeah, give me the Bills.
All right,
they want it more.
So
that's kind of where I'm at with it. Both good teams, but I have a lot of criticism with both teams, really. But the Eagles, like, not having to fight for it as much, I think is a big factor here. And like their attitude this season hasn't seemed the best, whereas the Bills, like, they've slipped a little bit, but they come back and beat the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in the hunt for the NFC, though, like we just mentioned, the Panthers, we also got the Packers who are in the hunt, who we talked about the Ravens-Packers game. If we want to dive into that a little bit right now,
sure.
You got the Ravens are going to lose this game. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Ravens are cooked, man. I really do.
The Ravens are cooked.
I really
think this is the last time you're going to see the Ravens in the playoff hunt. They gave it the best effort they had, but now you got Lamar Jackson, who's battling a lower back injury. I think he's going to play, but even if he plays, he's not going to be at 100%. And then you got Derrick Henry, who's just going through lower body wear and tear as an aging running back. It's just I will say Baltimore gave it a good fight, but like, I purely see the Packers taking this game, and I don't see any other outcome.
Packers are a way more complete team. I know they just lost to the Bears, but it was an overtime. It was a slog. They hung in there. Defense played the way they were supposed to. Lost it on one, crazy play in overtime. Nobody saw a 60-yard pass coming on play action against them. Shout out to the Bears for having the balls pull that off, but
absolutely.
But the Ravens, too many holes right now, man. The offense is below average. The defense is really bad. 27th in the league, total defense. They're pretty good at stopping the run, but I don't think that's going to matter.
Yeah.
Because they're very bad at stopping the pass. Packers have a number 12 passing offense versus a number 28 passing defense. And Jordan Love is he's going to shred them.
Yeah. So now let me talk to you about these bubbles in the NFC. The Lions are in the bubble. The Lions currently have a 7%, but now you got the Buccaneers in the bubble for the NFC South, and they're sitting at 57%. And if you look at the numbers, according to the NFL, you look at the Panthers who are in the hunt, the Panthers are sitting at 43%, whereas the Buccaneers are sitting at 57%. And I know it's because the Buccaneers play the Dolphins and the Panthers play the Seahawks. I get that.
And then they play each other again.
So this is going to be a really big dogfight for first place in the NFC South. But
as far as like who needs wins the most this week, it's the Buccaneers and the Panthers.
It's the Buccaneers, absolutely.
Well, the Panthers as well.
Absolutely.
Panthers got to maintain control.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be in a situation where you both lose and now, like, okay, you have tying records at the end of the season. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would exactly come down to just that last matchup. If it does, still, that's scary as well.
Yeah. So
because they're going to be playing in Tampa Bay next, right? Like they just played in Carolina.
Let's look at it. Real quick.
Yeah.
So
what's that
on
that
week
last
18,
game?
Week 18. Yeah, they play in Tampa Bay
All
on
right,
January 4th.
Yeah, so this is a little scary for the Panthers, man. Like you got to go against a team that's really got like massive momentum right now, and the offense is looking insane. And and you have to beat them, and then you also have to beat the Buccaneers, which I think the Buccaneers are beatable, even at home. I don't know. Yeah, like I understand why the percentages are that way, because the likelihood of the Buccaneers beating the Dolphins should be better than them beating the Seahawks, and it certainly is. I shouldn't say should be; it certainly is. But the Buccaneers, can't trust them, man. Can't trust them.
And I got to do one thing here real quick.
Okay.
I got to take a piss. I'm about to piss my pants.
Oh, hell yeah. Good timing.
All right. So one more game I want to talk about real quick is I talked about my playoff pick being the Bills. You talked about yours being the Texans. The Texans take on the Chargers this week.
Which I think is going to be a great game. Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing game. And let me tell you about this snapshot real quick. It's going to be an afternoon kickoff, nationally televised, as it should be, but it's going to be in SoFi Stadium. And the Chargers have been better at SoFi than they have been on the road. Right now, the Chargers are in the playoffs. The Texans are still trying to get in the playoffs, even though they're riding a win streak. Granted,
they're in right now. They're in right now.
Are they in?
They're wild
I thought
card.
They were on the bubble. Okay, so they're in
on
the wild
bubble.
card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're
in the wild card. They're not on the bubble. Okay,
and the Colts aren't that threatening, and then the Ravens aren't that threatening. I'm going to say, and what's the percentage that they're giving them, the Texans?
They're giving 97%.
Right. So they potentially could even get a better seed than the Bills, depending on what happens. But
now what I want to ask you is, seeing how they played against the Raiders, are you a little bit worried about this game against the Chargers?
Definitely, because the Raiders suck ass and the Chargers are a good team. I believe in the Texans defense, man. It's the best in the NFL.
Okay.
I think that's really the whole reason I picked them to be kind of a dark horse to not necessarily win the Super Bowl, but to fuck somebody up in the playoffs.
It's kind of hard for me because I like the Chargers.
What if they beat the Broncos, like in the I'm sorry, the Broncos will get a bye, but who's number 2 in the AFC? Oh, what if they get the Patriots? Like I said earlier, then
we'll really see what the Patriots are made for, and maybe I can be made a fool of.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's fine. But
I don't want that to happen to you, but we'll see.
You also got to look at how the Chargers played. Like, granted, the Chargers played the Cowboys. You can say that they knocked them out of the playoffs, but they weren't going to make it to begin with how high of a lead that the Eagles had over them. But the Chargers absolutely dominated. I mean, dude, 34-17 against Dak Prescott, who at one point looked like an MVP candidate. Sure. And it's just Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's amazing. Justin Herbert threw for 300 yards and multiple touchdowns. Yep. And once again, the dude has a broken fucking hand, and he's putting up these fucking numbers. Dude.
Doesn't matter.
So you really got to fucking watch out for him.
Again, though, that is against the worst defense in the league, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now you're going against the best defense in the league.
I'll tell you, dude, you look at it, the Chargers have more recently a better resume with more offensive firepower than the Texans do.
Yeah, I agree. But the Texans played the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, and I know that the Chiefs just got knocked out last week when Patrick Mahomes got injured, but I feel like they got knocked out when they played the Texans on Sunday Night Football. Because that defense can do it. They can do it to anybody.
Well, and the Chargers, the Texans are also riding momentum and confidence right now. The Texans have so much confidence right now.
Right. And I know their offense isn't amazing, but you got to remember, and I'm about to tell you some numbers, but this also is a lot of the season was without CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
So they got him back now. So let's just talk about the two teams' offense. In passing, you got the Texans, number 16, Chargers, number 13. That's not that different. And a lot of the Texans was without C.J. Stroud. Rushing 23 for the Texans, number 6 for the Chargers. Now, that's a big difference, and I don't think that's changed at all. Total offense, you got 19 versus 11, and a lot of it has to do with that rushing attack. But that's the Chargers not going against a defense like this. Texans defense, rushing number 4, passing number 4, total defense number 1.
All right.
And then, the Chargers defense is still very good because their total defense is number 3. Like, this could be a 1970s, NFL game where you just see guys getting their heads knocked off and, it's a lot of field goals, maybe one touchdown wins this,
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at it, I don't think the close win against the Raiders spells disaster, but it does kind of point out some inconsistencies. But I do think what we've been saying this whole episode is like, maybe they just dialed it back a little bit against the Raiders because they didn't have to go balls out to beat them.
It happens to so many teams, man. And like the truly great ones won't let you do that. But so many teams are like, we got this, man. We're going to go out partying on Saturday. Yeah. Oh, I'm hungover, but who cares? We're playing the Raiders.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. It happens in every sport at every level.
Yeah. So, it's time. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
It is time for the Trouble Watch. So the Trouble Watch really this week kind of consists of teams that are in the bubble. For me, and I believe for my partner in crime as well, it would
specify what kind of partner I am. All right, so nobody gets any ideas.
Well, dude, it's 2024. You can be whatever you want to be.
No, it's not, dude. It's almost 2026.
Even gayer, dude. You know,
not that there's anything wrong with that. All right, we're on the Trouble Watch now.
but I think we got to lead this with the Colts. The Colts are in hot water. The Colts are in trouble. Phillip Rivers can only do so much, even though he's looked amazing out there. You know,
kudos to him for real.
The defense is really going to let him down. I think you can go ahead and say goodbye to the Colts. Another team that's on there that I unfortunately think you got to say goodbye to is the Baltimore Ravens. They just don't have enough gas left in the tank. The injury problems have been riddled with all year. I feel like they're going to put up a fighting effort, but it's going to be all for nothing. I think this is the end for the Ravens.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It doesn't seem like the Steelers are slowing down. I know they got to play them again, but like we said earlier, Ravens aren't in control of their destiny. The stars have to align. Other guys have to lose. Tiebreakers got to work. I think they're in worse than trouble, to be honest.
Yeah. And then obviously the Buccaneers, who are neck and neck with the Panthers right now.
I'm still not separating those two. They're kind of on the Trouble Watch list together for me.
Well, I'll tell you this. I see the Buccaneers losing to the Dolphins. I do. I see it happening.
Okay. Yeah, dude. And I tend to agree with you just because they've lost it. They've lost their magic. And now it was earlier, like when they started this skid, was like, oh, well, they don't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin just got back or Ibuka's out. It's like all those guys are back now. And they're losing to divisional opponents. They lost to the Falcons and then they lost to the Saints. They lost to the Falcons and they lost to the Panthers.
The Panthers.
You don't deserve to win this division, period.
And another team I want to Trouble Watch real quick. You got the Lions who are on the bubble and fighting to stay in this, even though they have so much talent on their side. They're about to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who have kind of they've been a disruptor. They've been really good at keeping. Yeah, they've been really good at keeping teams out of going to where they ultimately should go and ultimately could go. But like, I would not be surprised if the Lions lost to the Vikings just with the way they've been playing recently. Like the Lions have all the talent in the world right now, but they just seem like they can't pull a plan together.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking up right now who they're playing week 18. Because that's really going to be the deciding factor. It's like maybe you do beat Minnesota. Oh, they got the Bears. So this could be goodbye Lions. You know, these next two games could be goodbye Lions. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, that should end the Trouble Watch because everybody else is clinched to be in the playoffs for the most part, except for
those four teams,
the Packers and the Panthers. I mean, like, Panthers I put on my Trouble Watch, but the Packers, I think they're good enough. I think they're better than the Lions. They got a better shot.
Packers got a 93% chance to make it.
Yeah, exactly. And then Steelers and Texans, they're the other guys at the end of the wild card here, or not even at the wild card. Steelers are going to win that division.
All four teams that I mentioned are the ones in the bubble, so they deservedly are in the Trouble Watch.
God, man, this playoff is going to be insane, like, because all these teams are stacked. Like, they really are separating here at the end.
It's also such a weird fucking year because when is the last time you saw in the playoffs the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Jaguars, the motherfucking Chargers? Like, I can't remember. Right. In recent memory, in at least the past 10 years,
no, you're right.
I don't remember these teams being a threat. I really don't. I don't remember being afraid of the Broncos since like the Elway years. You know what I mean? Or maybe the Manning years. But
yeah. We had the 2 Manning years
so,
and went to the Super Bowl both years.
I haven't really been worried. I haven't been worried about, Carolina since Cam Newton and maybe Baker Mayfield, or Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield,
like Sam
man,
Darnold was okay in Carolina.
It's still amazing to me that they had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and
Christian McCaffrey all on the
Christian
same team.
McCaffrey, and then Luke Kuechly, who
all
retired.
On the same team.
Yeah, man.
Luke Kuechly, who's going to go down in history as one of the best linebackers to ever play the fucking game of football.
Certainly one of the best white defensive players we've seen in our lifetime. That's for sure.
Yeah, dude. And I love it because
he's in the White Guy Hall of Fame for
I'll
sure.
tell you, dude, like aside from quarterbacks, white dudes don't have very many white dudes on the football field to cheer for.
No.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball, especially on defense.
Falcons, we got Caden Ellis.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. And I love Caden, by the way, not just because he's a white guy.
When you see Luke Kuechly, who is straight up like a white Ray Lewis, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
it was incredible to watch. And I guess you got JJ Watt. Like there have been some okay
DJ Watt.
There have been some okay, white defensive players, but when it comes to safeties and cornerbacks and shit, nah, dude, that is not a white guy game.
No, you can get pass rushers, and maybe you can get
you can get the linemen.
White
linemen are a dime a dozen,
Well, offensive linemen, you see them all the time. Why is that?
Yeah, because they're those big old cornbread fucking. They're those fucking. Dude. Yeah, dude, they're those
like Clay Matthews and Jake
Matthews.
You know what I mean? Like you get those big boys that can be on the line, offensive line or defensive line. Hell yeah. But I want to do something real quick since we're getting this close to the playoffs and we've only got 2 regular season games left. What do you have for maybe a Super Bowl matchup pick?
Oh, do you want me to go ahead and give it to you?
Yeah, and you don't have to stick with it, but just what are you feeling right now?
What I'm feeling right now. Okay. Call me crazy because I know you're going to call me crazy.
Okay.
Actually, dude, I don't think what I'm about to say is that crazy. Jaguars Bears.
Ooh, that'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to say Seahawks Broncos. You know what? But even though they're both the number 1 seed right now, it's just like they're both hot right now, and I could see Broncos.
Do you see the Seahawks beating the Bears in an NFC Championship game?
Depending on where it is, because right now, if it was played with the way the standings are right now, they'd be playing in Seattle. If they're playing in Chicago, it might be a little bit different.
I see Jacksonville beating the Broncos no matter where it is because they just beat them in Mile High.
Yeah. Nah, you're right, man. And I would love to see the Jaguars make it. Jaguars or Texans making it to the Super Bowl would be the most fun for me in the AFC. And then the NFC, Bears or Seahawks would probably be my 2 favorites to see. Because, I mean, we've over the last, 10 years, we've seen the Seahawks, but this is a completely different Seahawks than what we saw with Russell Wilson guys.
Now, I'll tell you.
But we've seen the Eagles, we've seen the Niners, we've seen the Rams.
The reason I picked that is because I'm looking at these teams. I think the Bears are going to beat the 49ers. I see the Bears being able to beat the Eagles. And
they could be the number 1 seed in the NFC then, if that happens.
The only team I see being able to beat the Bears is not the Seahawks, but the Rams.
I would choose the 49ers to beat the Bears over the Rams, to be honest.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to find out.
But I do not see anybody, especially the Patriots or the Broncos, and it'll go back to that strength of schedule we were talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't see anybody in the AFC beating the Jaguars right now. Not the Patriots, not the Broncos, maybe the Chargers, but not the Bills.
Yeah, well, and then, but like with the Jaguars, like people could be sleeping on them still, even in the playoffs, even on the road, like if the Jaguars are at home.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would love to see the Jaguars make it in the AFC. Now, I'm picking what I think is going to be it, and I told you how I feel about the Patriots. I'm not sure that they're for real until we see them, play in the playoffs. And they'll, more than likely, they'll be hosting their first 2 games. But maybe not. We'll see how things end up. And we'll see like who they draw like when it gets to the playoffs because the bottom of the AFC is
Now
still a little wonky.
Jacksonville playing the Patriots in New England does make me kind of nervous.
Yeah,
That
you got a
one makes
Florida
me a little
team
bit
coming up
nervous,
to
if that had to happen.
could be a very cold game in New England in
But
Foxborough.
then no, you know
Those
what? It goes
fans
back
have
to
been
what I
waiting
just said.
for it.
No, it goes back to what I just said because they just beat the Broncos in Mile High. So you got the elevation change and you got the cold weather, and they still went out there and beat the Broncos.
Yeah, but I'd say the Broncos fans in the regular
And on top of
season,
that,
it's not the same as the Patriots
Trevor
fans
Lawrence
in
is
the
a
playoffs.
Georgia boy. He's not used to that climate.
Right.
He's a Georgia boy, and he went out there and did that. Cartersville, Georgia.
Shout out Cartersville, dude. Yeah,
So,
no, you're right. You're right.
I don't know, man.
But
I don't know.
Time to show that you're you're an NFL quarterback.
One more game we got to go into before we do something fun. That's a little Christmas present to y'all. We're gonna talk about the Rams versus Falcons. I don't think we got to linger on it too much.
Monday Night Football, by the way, I'll be there.
What I will say, it is Monday Night Football. I will say this: the Falcons have been winning games they shouldn't be winning. It's ridiculous how good they're all of a sudden playing. I see the Rams taking this. The Rams should win this game. The Falcons are kind of playing fearless right now because they have nothing to lose. That's dangerous in late December because it can really.
Kirk Cousins kind of got his confidence back a little bit.
Exactly, like. And
it seems like the team's really responding to him now.
I don't think that Los Angeles should sleep on Atlanta.
No.
Especially because this could turn into a nationally televised embarrassment because they already lost to the Panthers this year.
Yeah.
The next thing they want to do is lose to the fucking Falcons, and this is really going to affect their playoff trajectory if they do lose to the Falcons. But
if they lose to the Falcons, if the Rams lose to the Falcons, I'm going to bring up a serious issue about the Rams, how they play on the road.
Yeah,
because
they do play awful on the road.
This game will kind of tell me if that's the truth, and then I'll kind of adjust my opinion about them in the playoffs if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, all things
especially if the Seahawks win the division.
All things considering, after this week they play the Cardinals, so they could end strong or they could end an embarrassment. I don't see them losing to the Cardinals as much as I would see them losing to the Falcons.
Right.
But it's just kind of wacky right now how the Falcons are all of a sudden clicking. It raises concern that they might.
Upsets me.
They might, hold on to Kirk
Cousins.
Know
what?
They might hold on to Raheem Morris,
Yeah. You know what? Like, because we traded our first round draft pick to the Rams, we have got to step up and beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely.
And in fact,
but even if we do that, there's still going to be a top 10 pick.
Maybe not, man. If we get to, if we're 8-9 at the end of the season, like, I don't know. There's worse teams than that.
Who did the Falcons play the last game? The Saints, right?
We play the Saints, yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
which could be a game that it could be a game we lose though. Could be a game we lose though.
Yeah, well, with this team, they can lose to fucking anybody.
Because they
can lose to Ohio State at this point.
Yeah, nah. I don't like that debate. I don't think they would
well, I don't either, but I'm just saying.
But it's just I don't know. We're not going to dig into the Falcons this week because everything we have said about the Falcons this entire season still reigns true. Jeremy's going to drink his liver into corrosion until they fucking fire Raheem Morris.
Yeah, since they haven't fired Raheem Morris, I'm still drinking beer and I haven't stopped.
It's just things got to change. Like it's cool that we're having these little moral victories, and now all of a sudden Kyle Pitts wants to play football. Now, I mean,
Kyle Pitts has turned it into like a top 5 tight end in the league over the last.
Yeah, and he's not going to play for the Falcons for within 2 years. He'll be gone. Within 2 years.
I think the Falcons are going to franchise tag him, and I think that Arthur Blank's going to let Raheem, hang on for one more year. Which God, please don't, because my liver can't handle this.
Well, please, I feel like with the way this is going, it's trending towards. It's kind of putting some speculation into my head that maybe Raheem only had the title of the head coach, but he didn't have the authority of the head coach. And I think maybe Raheem stays, but the OC and the special teams coach are gone, and then maybe he gets one more year. That's the worst case, best case scenario at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
I could. I
don't know if I can
don't.
deal
I
with
don't even
one
want
more
to say.
Raheem year,
I was
though.
about to say. I don't even want to say I could tolerate that. But yes, you're right. Like if it's the best case of the worst case, which the worst case is keeping Raheem, but the best version of that is that you do swap some of these coordinators. But I don't believe that Raheem didn't have control over this. The head coach is the one who he's the one who fired Ike Hilliard, our wide receiver coach, after week 3, losing to the Panthers, who look like they're going to win the division.
Was he just doing what he was told, though?
I don't know. Maybe Arthur Blank called and said, "Hey, dude, we need a blood sacrifice after this bullshit."
Because with how
And it was the wrong decision.
With how vocal, Ray has been and everything, I feel like Ray at this point would have thrown Raheem under the bus, but he hasn't said a word about Raheem.
Well, I think he's trying to stay professional while still putting his signal out there because
there's nothing professional about that. He's being very blunt.
Well, I'm saying like he's not going all the way. I'm just like killing Raheem.
I wish you would. Let's give him a call right now. We're calling Ray McLeod.
All right, yeah, we're pulling a Shannon Sharp right now. All right, Ray, what happened? Don't even tell him that we're on the air.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
that was a little inside, not an inside joke, but a little Easter egg for real Falcons fans. Been around for a while.
Yeah, but it's just the same old song and dance, This game to me, unfortunately, the winner is a 50-50 because I see
which
the
is
Rams
crazy
going out
to
there.
think.
Yeah, I see the Rams going out there, and they should, by all means, win this game. But I also see the Falcons, for some reason, winning this game.
The only reason I could say that is because the Rams could be playing down to the competition, and they can go, guys, they lost to the Jets. We can beat them. And then they don't, they go out, they fly into Atlanta on Friday. It's holiday weekend. It's in between Christmas and New Year's, which everyone knows is like, a weird buffer of
and they got to deal with
things you're responsible for.
They got to deal with all the bullshit. We don't,
But they're going to fly in and they're going to be, hitting up all the strip clubs and all that shit. You know how it goes, especially like holiday weekend. They're going to be feeling a little more generous, throwing a little more cash around. Like maybe they're a little hungover on Monday. It's a Monday night though, so maybe not. But who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah,
I kind of have a feeling that the Falcons can win this game.
Yep. Well, we'll see. But moving forward, today is Christmas.
It's Christmas
Merry
Day.
Christmas,
Merry Christmas,
everybody.
Guys. We're the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Jeremy and I decided to do something. And we're going to end this episode on a little fun note. What we're going to do with you guys, we are both going to list our top 3 favorite Christmas movies of all time. And we're going to banter back and forth with each other. We're going to talk about them a little bit. We're going to fill up some time because, I mean, if you're listening to this on Christmas Day, you obviously have time to fill. Like, I mean, you do.
Well, maybe you're like me and you got to drive up to your sister's house. That's an hour away. And then you got to spend time with them. And then you have to do another hour drive to go to your in-laws' house and do Christmas with them. And then you got to drive another 30 minutes to go home, which should fill up this entire episode if you're just listening to it. Driving between Christmases.
Also, if you're anything like me, your wife would be in the car and she's not going to tolerate you listening to this podcast while she has to sit passenger seat the entire time.
Okay. Yep. Well, those are arguments that, you decide if it's worth having.
But I am, you know what? I think, is it okay if I start my list of top 3?
Go ahead. Start with number 3 and go down.
I'll tell you one of mine, then you can tell me one of yours. I'm going to start this. My number 3 Christmas movie of all time is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Just watched it last night.
Arguing over the Turbo Man. When I was a little kid, I had a Turbo Man action figure. I was obsessed with it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the fucking world. Phil Hartman's in that movie.
Yep.
R.I.P. to an amazing talent. The story, everything, it just perfectly encapsulates the 90s. It perfectly encapsulates the Christmas, especially being a dad now, knowing the holiday rush of getting all these fucking toys and everything. Like,
hey, man, it happened to you today.
It happened. Literally happened to you
an hour before we started the show.
So let me tell you, me and Jeremy, we're going over our notes. We're getting everything ready. And then I've got my twins, and my twin girls are talking about what they want. We know
the
that
day
one
before
of the
Christmas Eve, by the way. This is when we're recording this.
And they're both very into the movie Wicked because right now, who isn't?
Right.
And One of them was very, very vocal about wanting an Elphaba doll. Like it's like a 2-foot doll of Elphaba. So, and she was the only one that made a fuss about getting the doll. So we got her the doll. It's in a private area. It's hidden. She doesn't know we got it. But then today, the other twin starts talking about Wicked. Starts talking about how she wants not Elphaba, but she wants Glinda. And we try to digress her. We try to change the subject, but no, she keeps coming back to it. She keeps talking about how bad it wants it. And then I'm sitting there thinking, like, I can't have Christmas morning happen. And one twin gets the doll from Wicked that she wants and the other one doesn't. So I'm like, fuck, I got to go. So I text Jeremy. I was like, I have to go to Walmart right now. I don't know when I'm going to be back.
At
I have to
9
go get this
p.m. the
fucking
day
doll.
before Christmas Eve.
Yeah. It was a fucking madhouse. It was a shit show. Walmart
was
is
a
less
Turbo
than a
Man
mile
moment.
from yeah. Walmart is less than a mile from my house. It took me a solid 45 minutes to get in there, get the toy, stand in line and check out, but I got it. I fucking got it.
Nice.
I Turbo Man the fuck out of that shit. I'm not going to turn into Glinda on Christmas morning like Arnold Schwarzenegger turned into Turbo Man,
Yeah.
but I got the fucking
At the
doll. I
parade,
secured
yeah.
the fucking bag.
Nice. All right, yeah, dude. I love that movie. It didn't make my top 3, but I watched it last night and it is fantastic. I got to shout out a scene in that. Sinbad's character, the mailman, you know, his kid wants Turbo Man just as bad as Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid. And they had that contest on the radio station about who was going to win it. Yeah. And he shows up with a package that's a bomb. It's like a bomb threat package. I was like, how? This is a pre 9/11 movie, guys. But like, yeah, it was, you know, and he totally gets away. Everything's cool. At the end of the movie, little Jamie like gives Sinbad the toy because he's got Turbo Man at home, his dad, which is amazing. Yeah. Great movie. Love it.
Yeah. Pulls at the heartstrings, but at the same time, you should have kept the action figure, kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, he should have. But
that's
you know,
that's little Anakin Skywalker right there.
It is. Hey, that kid was he was working back then, man.
Jake Lloyd is his name.
All right, there you go. Nice. I'm gonna go number 3.
With the movie hard, dude.
Nice. Number 3 is for me, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Dude.
Oh, dude, one of the best. I was gonna put that on my list. Now I got to take it off.
No, you still can. You still can. You can do it as number 2, or whatever you want to put it on.
Now I gotta have some. I gotta have some deep cuts, dude, because I gotta be better than you, dude.
Well, keep trying, man. No, I even bought the koozies this year, dude. So I made this joke earlier. This koozie says the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house, which is what he says when the whole like Christmas is falling apart at his house and Clark Griswold's like losing his mind. But even every year, like every time I cheers somebody with like a shot or a drink or a beer, like around Christmas, I have to do the Clark Griswold, like as he's about to plug in the Christmas lights and the whole family's doing the drum roll going the whole time. And he goes, joy to the world. I do it every time that I'm cheersing with anyone around Christmas. And yeah, dude, I've already watched that movie just mostly in the background, but I've watched it fully sitting down, like got locked into it like twice.
And I'll tell you, year. Like the Julia Louis-Dreyfus and whoever that other guy is playing the neighbors who just keep getting blasted.
Oh yeah, the girl from
that one scene gets me every fucking time.
Dude, how about probably the best joke in there is they come outside and the boyfriend is looking at Clark and he's got that giant Christmas tree and he's like, "Where are you going to put that?" And Clark Griswold looks over and he goes, "Bend over, I'll show you."
Yeah. No,
one of the greatest ever.
Lampoon's is fucking legit, dude.
What you got in the next one?
My next one is a classic. People either love or hate this movie, but I've watched this movie my entire life. It makes the list, and that is none other than A Christmas Story.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, man. I've seen it a bunch,
I
but
think we've talked about this before.
We have,
really
all
love
fair.
This movie.
Yeah.
But the Red Ryder BB gun, the Easter Bunny costume, the you'll shoot your eye out, like everything about that movie is
plenty of iconic tropes.
The leg lamp, like everything. And the thing is, it's a movie personally I don't get tired of. I love the movie. I had this movie on VHS when I was a kid, and I watched it summertime, Christmas time, anytime. I think it's all around a good movie. I think it stands the test of time. I don't know, dude. There's just something about that movie. I think it's very nostalgic. It reminds me of my childhood because it's something I always watched growing up. We grew up in Georgia where we had TBS on Channel 17, and on Christmas Day every year they would play it 24/7, like from midnight to midnight.
Oh, yeah.
They would play A Christmas Story on
they
loop.
Still do. We
I
just
think
don't. None of us
there's
have cable anymore. That's why we
yeah,
don't see it. But I think they still do it.
there's just something about that movie that's so feel good to me, and it makes me happy every time I see it. So, A Christmas Story is number 2 on my list.
Nice. Okay. All right. I got to leave one off here that is absolutely iconic, man. But I got to go with Bad Santa. Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton,
Ooh.
dude. I got to go with it, man. And
Oh my
dude,
God, what a good fucking movie!
and the late great Bernie Mac. Rest in peace.
Yes,
Such a fantastic movie.
Great movie.
I love it. It's like I almost want to show up to Christmas one year, especially when I start going gray, and just shave to a goatee and wear my Santa outfit with the beard hanging off of my face and not on the face, and be Bad Santa and just be a drunk guy like that. And also, dude, the chick from Gilmore Girls back in those days, man, absolutely killing it. She's great. Movie crush. The movie's so funny. Like I said, Bernie Mac, love seeing him. Every time I see him, it's just like it brings back all the great Bernie Mac memories that I had, like growing up watching the Bernie Mac show and watching his stand up and Kings of Comedy and stuff like that. So yeah, Bad Santa, I'd say number 2. And I'm going to go ahead and say honorable mention Home Alone 1.
Okay. It's funny you mentioned Home Alone 1 because my number 1 Christmas movie is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Home Alone 2 is fantastic, man.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Had the Talk Boy in it. Remember that? Did you have one of those back in the day?
Yes, I had a Talk Boy.
I didn't have one. My cousin did, and it was so much fun.
I had a Talk Boy.
I actually recorded on the 4-track cassette tape.
I think the pranks were better. I think the dialogue was better. I think the scenes were better.
They're in New York City. They still have that toy store that he goes to. Speaking of which, it's still in New York City.
I didn't tell you this. So the 26th, the 27th, this coming up Saturday, I am driving to New Jersey from Atlanta to see my wife's family for Christmas. Nice. Because her grandmother, who was 90 years old, God rest her soul, just recently passed away, and her funeral is on the 29th. So we are driving up to Asbury Park, New Jersey, and while we were up there, we are going to visit New York City and take the train, see everything. It's going to be a good time. So it kind of goes hand in hand with everything we're talking about right now.
They'll still have all the Christmas stuff up too, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And my wife, she grew up in Asbury Park, New Jersey, obviously, because that's where we have to drive to. She didn't move here until she was in like middle school. But she has told me that like it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. New York City in Christmas time is just a magical atmosphere.
I've been,
so I'm very excited to see that. I really think the movie captured that a lot. To me, it's just the best Christmas movie, Home Alone 2. The hotel, like the hotel staff, Rob Schneider and everybody.
He's great.
Tim Curry in that movie, like it's just the pranks were better. I don't know. It's just a great movie. It's a perfect Christmas movie to me.
Yeah, dude. And I'm a huge Joe Pesci fan. So I love him in those first 2 Home Alones. Him and Marv, dude. Like just the, and it's like
Daniel Stern, dude.
It's like the last like slapstick comedy thing that I love, and because also, it's a Christmas movie, I get to see it every year, and I watch both of them. All the time. I haven't watched Home Alone 2 this year, but I have watched Home Alone 1.
In this day and age, like current time speaking, Macaulay Culkin is one of the coolest fucking people in the world. He is bad.
Turned out to be, man. Yeah, because he was a child actor that ended up having like some, a lot of bad things happen to him, like most of them
as they all do.
And like
his parents stole all of his fucking money.
Yeah, and you remember like seeing him like growing up like a skinny like young man, smoking cigarettes, and everyone's like, "Oh, what happened to him?" Yeah. But it's like, no, it turns out he's a good dude. He's a family guy now. Like,
and then you see him, and he started this this like indie punk band, which I don't know if you knew about. They're called the Pizza Underground, and they actually played a show at the Earl about 10 years ago.
Okay, here in Atlanta,
and what they do
shout out to the Earl
is they cover Velvet Underground songs, but they make them be centered around pizza. So they change the lyrics to where their lyrics are talking about pizza, but they're Velvet Underground songs.
Doesn't Velvet Underground only have like one album?
I think it's that Andy Warhol album with the banana on it. But dude, it's a great album.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
if you ever listened to it. It's fucking great.
Okay, nice. All right.
Yeah.
But that was your number
Macaulay
one.
Culkin. Macaulay Culkin, lead singer of the Pizza Underground.
Nice. Shout out Macaulay Culkin, friend of the show.
And also, side note, he had a Twitter contest a couple of years ago of what he should legally change his middle name to. And the winner of that, the winning choice of that was Macaulay Culkin. So Macaulay Culkin's legal name is Macaulay Culkin.
Love it, man. That's amazing.
Yep.
What a nice little factoid. That's the clip for the episode. All right, number one, I've got my favorite is the Santa Claus, Tim Allen.
Oh God, what a good fucking
Dude,
movie!
it is so good.
Oh my God.
And it's like I love Tim Allen in that movie because like as I watch it now, and I've watched this movie, growing up my whole life, and the way that he's just like having road rage and like talking to people, like some lady like honks him, he's like, "That's not very ladylike." Like I just find myself being that same guy all the time, or like when the one kid's just like, "Santa, you didn't drink your milk," and he's like, "I'm lactose intolerant," which comes back to bite him in the ass like the next year when he drinks like the fake milk or whatever. And he's like, spits it out. He's like, "What is it?" She's like, "You said you were lactose intolerant." It's like the kid was being cute and you were being sarcastic dickhead. Great movie. I love Charlie. I love Bernard, the kind of like take no shit elf.
Let me say one hot take about fucking the Santa Claus, though.
Go ahead.
So I don't know if you ever noticed this. This kind of grinds my gears.
Let's hear it.
When Scott Calvin starts putting on weight and becoming Santa Claus, he stands on the scale. Do you know what his weight is when he was on that scale?
No.
191 pounds. And they call that obese. They call it fat.
What?
They call it out of shape. And that for the time frame in the 90s was supposed to be comically overweight and out of shape. Do you know how much I weigh?
He didn't look 191 pounds. He looked like 290, 280.
Do you know how much I weigh, Jeremy?
180.
I weigh 203 pounds.
Good God. No shit.
So you're telling me that Santa Claus weighs less than I weigh?
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I understand that gripe, dude. Yeah, that's silliness. Because A, you're not fat at all, and you're probably, 6 inches shorter than Tim Allen, I would think.
At least.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but
let's look this up. How tall is Tim Allen? Tim Allen.
He can't be more than 6'2".
He's 5'11".
Okay, 5'11". Yeah, there you go.
So I'm a solid 5 inches shorter than him because, I don't know. Because do you remember when we were on Stranger Things, we all measured ourselves and people would talk shit? Because I was one of the short guys.
Yeah.
I'm 5'5" 3/4 exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But 203 pounds of solid, sexy bitch.
But yeah, that really does put a lot into perspective. If you're that height and you're 15 pounds heavier than Santa Claus, that's crazy. But yeah, anyways, I love that movie. I love that he works like at a toy store, but the whole story is that his Charlie's stepdad or his mom's boyfriend or whatever is the psychologist.
He gets him the weenie whistle.
Yeah, he gets him the weenie whistle, dude. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which low key, when you watch it back, he's calling him a weenie.
Yeah, exactly. Now, but there's one thing where he's like, Charlie's talking about how much better Neil is than his own dad. Like while he's hanging out with his dad on Christmas, and his dad burns a turkey, and they go out to the diner, and they're out of shit. Yeah. So, and he's like, yeah, Neil told me this. He's like, yeah, it sounds like Neil tells you a lot. He's like, well, he actually listens to me. He goes, yeah, I bet he's going to charge you for it. And it's like, as an adult, you're like, oh, he's a psychiatrist. And it's like, yes, that's what he does,
Yeah.
Whereas Scott Calvin, like, is working all the time, trying to make money to raise his kid, even though his wife doesn't love him anymore and they're divorced or whatever. Whereas this other guy, like, gets all the credit because he's with his mom and that's who he spends all his time with. So I don't know, like, as an adult, like, watching it and seeing it, fantastic movie. Again, shout out to Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 because, I'd love to put those on my list, but we only had 3.
Also, some honorable mentions. You got Jim Carrey's Grinch. Fucking amazing.
Yep. Saw that in theaters.
You got Christmas with the Cranks. You got
Yep.
I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Jessica Biel, which is a great fucking movie.
Never saw that, but big Jessica Biel fan over here.
Oh, dude, it's
Just
great.
just a heterosexual guy from the 90s, which I think we're all Jessica Biel
I'll
fans.
tell you. So like fucking here's the plot of the movie, and I'll tell you it before we fucking get out of here.
Mhm.
So Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he's got a stepmom that who's
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, that's a nice segue from Tim Allen, by the way.
Yes,
shout out Home Improvement, Tool Times,
so
baby.
He's away at college, and he's got a stepmom at home. I think their mom passed away, and his stepmom is an angel. She is a saint to him, but he doesn't like her because it's not his mom. So his dad is like, you have to come home for Christmas from college, and he won't do it. And his dad's like, oh, well, if you come home from fucking college, I'll give you my Porsche. And it's like a 1980 something Porsche, like fucking
Holy
beautiful
shit.
Porsche. So he's like, okay, I'll come home for Christmas so that I can get the Porsche. But the day before he leaves to go home for Christmas, he gets the football players of the school bully him into like giving him the fucking the answers to, or no, they don't bully him. He's running a scheme to give the football players answers to the exam, and they're going to be paged on them. Well, shit gets wrong. One of the fucking football players, they all get the wrong answers to the exam, so they fucking punish him, and now he's like stuck in the middle of the desert and can't get home. And Jessica Biel's his girlfriend, and he's trying to convince his girlfriend that he's going to take her home for Christmas, and they're going to have this wild, wonderful time together. But then she finds out that he just wants to go home to get the Porsche, and they break up. But the guy who ratted him out about the test answers tries to steal his girlfriend, and it's fucking wild. It's a great movie.
Nice. Okay. I might check that out. What was the name of
gotta
that one
watch
again?
that, dude. I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Okay, I might look that tomorrow. Because, tomorrow, Christmas Eve, I'm just going to be hanging with my wife, and we're going to be watching Christmas movies as we...
I'm not going to lie. The more I think about that
present.
movie, Jeremy, that movie is actually fucking hilarious.
Nice.
It's so good.
Nice. One more Christmas shout out. Me and my wife went to the Alliance Theater last week and saw a live play of Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge, Tiny Tim, Ghost of Christmas Past, Present and Future. And it was fantastic. So shout out to them. Love the show. Hope I see, I won't go every year, but like I will go see it again. It was very good. Actors killed it. Everything was great.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up.
An amazing story.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think the Muppets Christmas Carol really takes the cake, but
I don't know. Seeing it live, I'd say beats the Muppets, but just my opinion.
Dude, that's amazing. I do love live theater. I wasn't taking anything away from them. Like that's amazing that y'all can do that. I know that performing live is a task. So like the fact that they did it to where you stayed engaged the whole time and it turned out good.
Oh, it was
that's
damn
awesome.
good. It was damn good. We even watched like the old school, like mid to late 80s Christmas Carol that we all grew up just seeing on TV the other night. And I was just like, damn, you know what? Actually, I like the story a lot more seeing it live.
Do you remember that Bill Murray movie, Scrooged?
No.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray. He was it Bill Murray? Yeah. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like a Christmas Carol. It's called Scrooged, and it's like a comedy version of that.
Oh, okay, nice. Hey,
Yeah,
it's a classic Charles Dickens story. Shout out Charles Dickens.
So, there you go. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Open up all your shit. Be grateful because
Shitter's
any
full,
present
by the way.
Shitter's full. But any present you got, I just want you to understand, somebody had to work their fucking ass off to get, so you better be goddamn grateful for it.
That's right.
At the end of the day, this year's been very hard for everybody. Sometimes people can only afford gift cards. They can only afford socks. They can only afford underwear. They can only afford one little piece of your favorite team's memorabilia.
That's right.
Be grateful for everything you have. Be grateful for everything. That's ultimately what this time of year is about. It really is the season to give, because you can be ungrateful as you want. What did you give anybody? What did you do for anybody this year? That's what you need to reflect on. You just spend time with your family. You have one chance at life to make it the best you can. And if you're not, soaking up every moment with the people who love you, the people who want to be around you, the people who want to give to you, what are you doing? You're fucking up.
Yep.
So enjoy this Christmas holiday. Make the best of it. We'll see you guys next week. I'll tell you guys all about New Jersey and New York City, and we'll also talk more about football. I'm having the time of my life hanging out with my buddy Jeremy every fucking week.
Same.
It's been amazing. If you guys want to hear more of us, you can check us out on YouTube at ATOWN Rundown, Instagram ATOWN Rundown. check out Jeremy's band. They're putting in work. They're doing big things. They're really trying to get in you guys' ears. They're called Sunmancer. They're a great band. Other than that, you guys just have a happy holiday. Drive safe. Don't get a DUI. Call a fucking Uber because they're working around the clock. And tip your fucking bartender. Y'all be safe.
Hey, if you go out and you have a chance to give someone a Christmas tip, do it. It'll make you feel good.
And, well, it'll be too late by the time you hear this, but Jeremy's actually working tomorrow, Christmas Eve, at the bar. And you guys don't understand, like, when you go out to a bar, when you're lonely and you're by yourself and you feel like the only place you can be at a bar, there's a reason there's a bartender working there, too.
That's right. I'm there to accompany you.
Make them feel appreciated. Make them feel
good. Absolutely. You know? And anybody that comes to the bar on Christmas Eve,
whether it's going to be any day.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever. Come up and hang, and, we can feel this way together.
Absolutely, dude. But on the other hand, it's not because people in Jeremy's life don't love him, because I love him like a brother.
Yeah, of course.
Because,
I got a team behind me, man. Yeah. You're part of that.
Absolutely. But, we are here to entertain you and listen to you and have conversations with you. And if you've heard this podcast and you want to come in to Outrun Brewery and talk to Jeremy about it, talk about the Falcons, talk about Sunmancer, talk about your favorite Christmas movies, go ahead and go do it. If you ever have the urge to come up to Watkinsville or Athens and go to Mama's Boy, which is an Athens staple, and come see me, we can talk about all these things too. I would love to meet you guys face to face. Jeremy would love to meet you guys face to face. You can tell us what your playoff teams are. You can tell us how you think the Bills aren't going to make it. You can tell us how you think the Jacksonville Jaguars and the fucking Chicago Bears are going to play in the Super Bowl. You can tell us how the Texans are going to play in the Super Bowl. You can tell us why Sunmancer is your favorite band, but you got to see us do it. So hopefully we'll see you guys around. Y'all have a happy holiday. Take care of yourselves. Don't get a DUI. I know I make jokes about drinking and driving. Not worth it. Call Uber. Cops are everywhere.
That's right.
Y'all be safe.
Merry Christmas, guys. Rise up.